Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you're having a great morning this morning. It's Friday morning. It's a coffee kind of morning. Contest entry for Jason Nike, 100 subscribers. That's awesome. I've just recently discovered your channel through who else but Rachel, the Music Ma'am. I've discovered so many great channels through her. Rachel's awesome, kind of the matriarch of the vinyl community, in my opinion. And Jason, fellow Canadian, awesome. So many great Canadians on these doing this stuff. And Naz Nomad, David, Chris Blue Vinyl Guy, of course, Mr. Glenn Calloway, my neighbor down the road, Rachel, of course, and so many others. And if I'm missing anyone, I apologize, but too numerous to mention. But great Canadian presence on the vinyl community. So Jason has a contest. Simple, but also difficult as well in some ways. But a lot of fun. I love Jason's channel so far from what I've discovered. Very high quality production, which struck me right off the bat. Cool intros, cool outros, and maybe I'm getting ahead of myself because that's one of the questions on this as well. So, and I hope I have all these questions correctly. So, first one is talk about a nightmare, as he's giving away Alice Cooper's "Welcome to My Nightmare," an album version of that. Fortunately, I don't have or don't recall having too many nightmares, or if I have had them, they're not enough to remember. I'm a very light sleeper. I work a lot of early mornings, so I've broken sleep most of the time. Because I don't want to sleep in, so I've always got one eye open when I'm sleeping. But so when I do dream, it's very much broken dreams. I'm usually chasing someone, or someone's chasing me, or I'm in a situation, almost like a movie where you're surrounded by enemies, and you're trying to protect yourself and protect your surroundings. And strategy. I play a lot of games, so maybe that's something to do with it as well, because you're always strategizing in games. And not that I'm a junkie, not anymore anyway. But that's just the kind of thing I dream about. Nothing ever too tragic, and sometimes when I wake up, because say for example, I'll have broken sleep all the way through. I have to get up at 3 or 4 in the morning. Usually I fall into a deep sleep about an hour before. And then when you wake up, you're all foggy, and you're trying to recall bits and pieces of the dream you had. So that's kind of it. So never a nightmare, and never anything memorable. It's just different broken pieces of themes that you would see in a movie, or that never real life stuff. So I guess that's good in one way. I was with someone that had terrible nightmares, and it may have something to do with your past, these nightmares. I don't know. I had a pretty standard, straightforward past. Nothing too tragic. Of course, ups and downs, but nothing too tragic. And I think maybe nightmares, and I could be wrong, but I think maybe nightmares are suppressed memories that come out, and you're trying to deal with those memories. And again, I could be way out there in left field, but I think that's what a lot of nightmares have to do with it, because the person I was with had terrible nightmares, but she had a pretty pretty rough go of it in some ways. So I could be wrong. Maybe that's just an individual thing, but cool album just the same. I love that album. Favorite albums. Well, I've shown these 1,000 times, but I'm going to show them again. One of the first bands I ever saw, Max Webster. This is not their original one, but Kim Mitchell and Max Webster. Saw these guys at the Belleville Memorial Arena, a very small arena now. Is no more. It's being sold, or it may perhaps it has been sold. And Kim Mitchell, Max Webster, very proggy, very underrated. Kim Mitchell's an amazing guitarist. Love these guys. So that's one of them. I found these guys on a kind of an oops through Columbia House, and I've yet to find Rock and Roll Music to the World, and that's my mission, to find that album. But 10 years after, this is A Space and Time. I'd Love to Change the World's a big hit off of this one, but these guys, British blues rock, Alvin Lee, another highly regarded, amazing, blistering guitarist, Mr. Alvin Lee. And 10 years after, another one that I found when the Max Milk or the Becker's stores, the convenience stores, were selling albums in those little spindly racks. I saw the cover of this one. I said, "Ooh, what's this?" And I love these guys ever since. Styx, Grand Illusion. I put this on, and from start to finish, I was just blown away. With that haul I just got, I've mixed and matched, and yellow vinyl or gold vinyl off of this awesome album. So one of my favorites. I always loved this album from the beginning. Aqualung, from start to finish. Even though Aqualung can be taken as a pretty creepy song in some in some ways if you're just new to Jethro Tull, but all throughout the album is just remarkable. And I've since grown to love older Jethro Tull and quite a bit of the discography. Just amazing. Supertramp, of course, Crime of the Century. First put this on, and you're hearing School, pardon me, and then the whole album throughout. It's a real journey. It's an album you definitely need to listen to from start to finish, because it's just a journey, and yeah, awesome stuff. Paranoid, one of their most commercially successful albums, in my opinion. Some people would argue that it's not their best, but hey. Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, another one that's just to die for, but this was my first venture into Black Sabbath, as well as this band here. This is my first venture into this one. This was, if I recall, my second album. And I'll show you my favorite album when it gets to that question, which was my first album and still is my first album. But these guys here, awesome stuff. And that classic story, and I've told this story a number of times, where your parents go over and have dinner with the minister and his wife. The kids all go downstairs. The minister's son throws on an album, and you're hooked. You're hooked. And it was Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd. Just from start to finish. And then that just opened up the progressive rock side of everything, and love these guys. Love these guys. So that's some of my favorite albums. Next is show your favorite movies. I don't own any movies, physical copies. I do have an Android box that I can watch pretty much anything and everything that I want to. Of course, Netflix. But some favorite movies of mine. My all-time favorite movie is Platoon. Charlie Sheen, all those guys. When he could actually act in that movie. Charlie Sheen kind of went off and out there. But Platoon, you've got Green Beret and True Grit from John Wayne. Midway, of course, all those big productions. Midway, Top Gun, one of my favorite movies. As cheesy as it is, it's still a classic movie. Predator, the original Predator, with Arnold. I've seen it I don't know how many thousands of times, and I still love it. Just his little one-liners stick around, and when he's throwing a knife into a guy, and all these classic one-liners that he has. And of course, Hunt for Red October, classic sub-movie. And I saw True Grit. So the next one is show a film that made you fall in love with movies. Well, one of the earliest memories that I have, and of course I've seen hundreds and thousands of movies, but when my parents and I went to a drive-in and watched True Grit, and classic Western movie. Kim Darby falling into the pit with the snakes scared the crap out of you, but just a classic, classic John Wayne movie. Glenn Campbell was in it as well, young Glenn Campbell. Just a great memory of that. So that's, I wouldn't say it started me off in loving movies, but it's just a great memory of a movie. And all those big production movies. I think of Airport, and I think of Towering Inferno. I believe, was it the Towering Inferno that the movie theater in downtown Belleville had to take the chandelier off because they had the big surround sound speakers at the back. Like, not now where the speakers are much smaller. These were stacked speakers, and they had to take the chandelier down because there was fear that because of the noise and the vibration it would drop the chandelier. But those big production movies, with thousands of people in the cast, I just love all that stuff. Midway, of course, the original Midway. There's been a few remakes of Midway, but again, cast of hundreds. And then you've got so many great movies. An album that made you fall in love with music. Well, this was my first, still going to be my first, always be my first, Machine Head, Deep Purple. Other than the Beatles, and if you notice, I haven't mentioned any Beatles because I knew of them, but I didn't really discover or love them until later in life. And I guess maybe it was the era that I grew up in. I was more into the hard rock and that type of thing. But they've obviously become my favorite band. But these guys are my second favorite. And just picked up Whoosh a few days ago, and it's just an amazing album. And I'm slowly getting all their discography. And Infinite, and I want to get Bananas, and all the newer stuff with Steve Morse. I think that's amazing. Don Airey is a wonderful I don't want to say substitute because he's his own unique player, but he's taken the reins over from John Lord quite well. But yeah, this is my favorite album This has got me into music. It still sounds just as good today as it did way back when I discovered these guys, and absolutely love it. And I don't play it much because I know all the songs from back to front and front to back, but still my favorite. And that classic cover, of course. It'd be cool to have a purple version of this, of the vinyl, but as it is, great album. And finally, favorite thing about Jason's channel. Well, as I said earlier, I'm new to your channel, Jason. Excuse me. And I mentioned at the beginning, what I've noticed right off the bat is your production, your intro, your outro, your enthusiasm. You obviously take the time to make a great video, to have that great production in video, and I want to get there myself. I'm trying to get there and doing little different things, always trying things, but you seem to have everything going and on the right track. I want to check out your campfire review of the movies coming up that you were talking about, and yeah, I'm gonna keep on following your channel. It's a great channel. So anyway, there you go. I'll be sending a link to you showing that I've completed the video. I'll be putting a link down below for Jason's channel. Please check him out. Please subscribe, and ring that bell, so every time Jason puts a video up, you get that notification, as well as myself. Please like, subscribe, put the link. I greatly appreciate all you guys, and all your subscriptions, and all your great comments. You guys are amazing. Vinyl community is just a wonderful place to be. So again, congratulations, Jason. You got a great channel. Keep it going. You're doing just wonderful. Don't doubt yourself. Just keep on doing what you're doing, and it's going to work. And that's my philosophy as well. I'm just going to keep on doing what I'm doing. So anyway, there you go. Have yourself a great day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.